Hey everyone, welcome to this student success interview. I'm Garth Laidlaw with Portprep, and I help art students complete their portfolios to get into their top art schools across the globe. Portprep can help you create the absolute best art portfolio that you can possibly make and have the best chance of getting into your favorite art schools. We have courses on figure drawing, character design, perspective, animation, storyboarding. We even have courses that deal specifically with Sheridan College's animation portfolio, which is notoriously difficult to get into and which is what I graduated from. One of the primary problems that we've noticed with students not getting into their top art colleges is the accountability to produce work on a consistent basis. And this is exactly what we've created these courses for. When you sign up for one of Portprep's courses, we draw directly on top of our students' work to make corrections and also record all of our online meetups and video lectures to send to the students so that you can have it forever. Portprep is incredibly proud of our success rate with getting students into their top art colleges and universities, and so please have a look at our testimonials page. We also offer one-on-one art mentorships as well that are much more customized to your specific artistic goals. Without further ado, let's listen to this student interview.
Hello.
Hey Lily, how's it going?
Good, much better now that I know that I got into Sheridan.
I bet. What was your situation like when you first found out? How did you react and where were you when you found the news?
Like that when I got in. Oh, I was actually at home just like chilling. I did not
Okay.
expect the results to come out this early because like every other year it came out on like the 20 something, right? Much later, like at the end of the month.
Okay. I
So I
see.
was like,
It's kind of
no way
always all
we're
over the
getting.
place. But
Yeah, I was like, no way we're getting it this early. But
yeah.
then one of my friends was like, oh my god, Lily, the results are out. And I was like, what?
Oh,
So I
that's so
checked in
great.
and I was like, yeah. I thought I would probably get in because I put in so much work this year and I
Yeah,
already got rejected once. So I was
sure.
like,
Okay.
probably. But I
Yeah.
didn't expect my mark to be that high.
Yeah, I know. I think actually no, I have one other student who got as high a mark as you, but otherwise that's it. You two are the top students that I have had this season of 2023. So congratulations, both on getting in and with such a great score. That must feel amazing, I imagine, after all of that. So wow, that's so great. So I obviously have these questions, but I thought first maybe we'd look through your portfolio first and have a look. And if there's anything you want to say about any of the pieces, then obviously feel free. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, great. So this is what an almost perfect score looks like, everyone. 9 out of 10 on figures, so there's 1 mark on short animation. Wow, a perfect storyboard. I cannot wait to
I
have
know
another
that
look at
shocked me the
that.
most. I was like, I was scared for my storyboard. I was like, no way I'm getting a good mark for that. But then I got full and was like, what?
That's fantastic.
You
Really
know what's
surprised
extra
about the 1 mark on
funny?
your perspective. Sorry, what?
Yeah, you know what's extra funny?
What?
Remember my hand drawing that got 2 points taken off from last year?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I put the exact same drawing in this year and it got 10 out of 10.
That is so. All you need to do is reapply. You don't even have to make a new
Yeah,
portfolio. You just put your same work in,
they're
and stuff
trolling.
happens, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Boy, I mean, it's weird, isn't it? I don't even want to go into the conspiracy theories about it, but I mean, obviously, it's just hard to be objective as portfolio markers. You're not able to like be
Yeah,
like, all right, this is this person's portfolio last year. Let's compare how they were. It's always fresh, and so there's so much that goes into it, and I think they can only do as good as a human can, right? So I don't know. And I'm not arguing that AI should be marking portfolios by any means. I just mean like
oh, definitely
there's
not.
always going to be an element of human like I don't know, flux of perspective of value and skill in the arts. So I don't know. Who cares? You got in. That's good news.
Yeah, that's
So
all that matters.
yeah. Okay. Hey, I don't even remember if this is one of the ones that I saw prior to You submitting?
I
Actually, oh,
think
these all
all
look
the figures I sent are after we finished our lessons.
okay. Wow. You had some big figure drawing sessions in that last day or two.
Yeah, the last few days, all I did was only figure drawing.
Yeah.
My
Lily, you
arms
remind
were so
me,
sore.
you were the I'm pretty sure I'm remembering correctly that you're the one who sent me like the biggest bunch of figure drawing that I've ever received in one review session, and then we had this giant file with like seemingly like a
Oh
hundred figure
yeah,
drawing. Where that was you, right?
yeah.
I thought so.
those are
Um,
those are my figures for 1 week.
yeah, yeah, yeah. In fact, it's really worth looking at, except that it's on another hard drive now because it's moved. But yeah, for everyone watching, at some point in time, Lily handed me like every figure drawing it felt like that you'd ever done, but I guess that's just 1 week. And it was this giant, it was almost like Photoshop was almost going to crash because there's so many figures. But it was great. And the funny thing is, none of the ones I think are the ones you used for that. You did so many more that I guess. But these are great. Wow. I'm surprised you actually lost a mark. Um, maybe on this one, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. I really like all of them though. And both of your short ones have a good sense of movement. So that's great. Um, so this is the perfect hand drawing that got 8 out of 10 the previous year. I mean,
Uh-huh.
to be honest, I was really surprised at that 8 out of 10. I feel like this is a much more accurate score, in my opinion, to what I'm seeing and what I previously saw. And the funny thing is, I think I remember saying that. I was like, I wonder what you lost your marks
Yeah, you
for.
said the same thing.
So, well, I'm glad I am at least aligned with the portfolio markers this year.
Yeah.
Let's actually look at your character next, which is the next thing. So this was perfect, right? You got perfect on this one.
I think I don't remember.
Let's
Did
see.
I get any scores taken off?
Nope, that's it. Perfect marks
Oh
on that
wow,
one.
that's surprising because this is the piece I worked the most last minute on, like
Okay,
the very last minute. Because
interesting.
I sent it to some of my friends in Sheridan, and they were like, "Yeah, actually, there's something wrong with the way it's posed." So I like
Hmm.
changed some of like the way the shoulders are posed last minute, and I was like, "Oh my
Okay.
god, I'm gonna get so many marks taken off this."
That's interesting. Um, I'm really curious. Obviously, we can't know this, but everyone's always wondering how much they value the construction lines in this exercise, right? And I'm always
Hmm.
curious how much it makes a difference. I think in this case, the fact that you drew the eyes in behind the heavy hair there is really important. I think they probably really
Hmm.
appreciated that because then you're not just trying to hide and avoid drawing those facial features. Um, so, I mean, in your case, I think the construction is very good, and it's also not too heavy-handed. Um, it's just kind of there, and I think that helps. I think it really think it does help. So, okay, so short animation. Let's have a look at that. Oh yeah, this one was great. Yeah. Oh, you lost a mark on this, right? That's kind of weird. Well,
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Uh, I was actually not really confident on this because animation is like not really my strong suit,
Huh.
as ironic as that is.
I mean, the bounce,
But
you have this great fluidity of the object. Like, I like how it, yeah, it almost like
maybe it's
compresses
too
out
fluid.
really quickly and then resumes its shape really quickly again. I'm not sure if there could have been one more frame to ease out of those squash motions, but uh, it's hard to tell. But no, I mean,
Yeah.
it's really good. This is great, and I like the little background you've drawn, and you have different levels. I don't know. It's pretty
My
nice.
speculation is maybe that I made it like too squishy. Like, you know how it folds at the end, but when it's
Yeah,
bouncing, it doesn't have any folds. Maybe it's that inconsistency that they were like,
sure.
maybe that's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I think it's great. I mean, this is as far as like thinking about the fact that you're not in animation yet, I feel like this should be perfect, considering for most students, this is their first animation. Um, so I don't know. But obviously they need to judge it by the relative, I guess, quality of that year. The funny thing is, like
Mhm.
the first actual assignment in animation, as long as it's the same, the bouncing ball, the bowling ball, and the balloon, maybe it's different now, I'm not sure. But when I was in school, that's what we did as our first assignment. That is a less complicated thing than this exercise. The only difference is that this is much shorter. So it's funny that,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's funny.
Okay,
Very
your
ironic.
perfect storyboard. Wow. Yes. I mean, I this is a really good storyboard, and I think, hey, you swapped. Oh yeah, I remember you were thinking
Yeah, I
about
flipped
that.
the last panel because my
Yeah.
friend was like, uh, oh wait, did I flip it? I can't remember
You
now.
did, yeah. I remember it being the opposite. And for
Okay,
some
yeah.
reason it feels like wrong to me, but it's only because I got used to the previous way that it was.
Yeah, it
So
feels wrong to me too because I also got used to it.
yeah.
But then I think my friend
So,
explained that it just flows better with the characters all on the same side of the board. So I was like, yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense. I'll flip it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's nice. And the action is good. Like I think it feels like it has a certain velocity in that second frame, which is nice. All those lines. And then the impact is nice. Like it has a nice level of cartoony, but still being quite on model. So I think that's a really nice combination. And even your background stuff is really nice. Like the mom character is kind of great, actually. She's like a whole other little part of the story. So yeah, really great. Really glad that that they really liked this one. And this is
Yeah.
classic, like better safe than sorry too. So I think, yeah, I can see it. See it. Perspective. Okay. Oh wow. So considering this is your interior, which holy everyone, like look at this. This is incredible. Um, I can't believe they took a mark off. It must
It
have
was
been.
probably for this one that they took the mark
Oh,
off.
okay. You did the same one. Interesting. So this was the one
Yeah.
you had in the previous year. I would
I
say
recycled that
so.
one.
I think your interior is stronger, personally. I think that I mean I just love this one. This is actually I use this as an example from time to time because it's just such a great example of like of layering of objects and personality and believability and all that great storytelling stuff. I think this is just a great example. Um,
Yeah, I think I had the most fun and put the most passion into that one.
Yeah, yeah. I remember it coming back for many weeks, and yeah, we'd always have a little chat about it. So yeah, I'm glad that paid off. But yeah, I mean, I still really like this one. I guess I've said this before, but I feel like one of the things that I had issue with this, which is quite minor, but some of the textures felt a little too similar, like the water texture down
Yeah,
there, and then the
definitely.
tree bark texture there almost feels like a parallel kind of material. But
Mhm.
whatever, 14 out of 15, that's pretty great. That's
Yeah.
higher than 90%. That's like, what is that? Like 90, 94 or 3 or something. Okay, great. So personal work now. So I guess these are some personal works and then it probably begins here. So let's have a look through. Oh yeah, I
Mhm.
love this one. This is one of your later ones, right?
Yeah, this is one of the ones I did at the very end.
Yeah, that's great. I love that you did the interior as well. That's really, really suitable for animation and also some process work to show some different options is always really nice. Oh, we've got some tech stuff going on up here. Clearly didn't matter, but anyways. Um,
Just a little
oh yeah,
aesthetic stuff.
yeah. This one, I can't remember. Did you do this one for last year, Lily, or was this a
Yep,
new
this
one?
one's also recycled from my old portfolio.
Okay, great. I mean, geez, it seems like a great idea because this is really nice and really nicely shot, really nicely lit. Like this is, it almost feels like a ZBrush model, honestly. And I say that in a good way, like ZBrush, because when you're doing it on a computer, it's always you always get a really nice rendering, right? Because it's always ideal for
Mhm.
that. But this actually feels like that, so that's really nice. Oh yeah, and this one was from last year too.
Yep, also recycled.
Yeah, get out of here. Um, Oh yeah, okay. This
Also
one.
recycled.
But did you add anything new, or I can't remember? Is it
I
completely
wanted
different?
to fix some parts, but I didn't end up having enough time because I was too busy fixing my
Okay.
character rotation, so
Oh,
I
sure.
just left
Okay.
it as is.
Yeah. It's still really great, and I like how you've done a nice job of actually like laying this out. Like it's really clean and like just how you've introduced this. It's almost like a film pitch Bible or something. So it really feels professional. Really nice layout. Almost feels like it could be in a on a website actually, considering the long layout. Oh, and then the other ones are PDFs.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh
So
yeah,
do you
just
have a traditional
pictures.
sketchbook too, or is it just a digital one?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I for my personals, I did both a digital sketchbook
Oh, great.
and a traditional one just to get in all those miscellaneous pieces.
Sure. Oh, nice. Some costume stuff. Lots of costume stuff. Great.
Oh, those are actually some digital figure drawings.
Yeah? Oh, wow, cool. That's great. Ooh, nice. Some color stuff. Really neat style. Like the blue, how you brought the blue into it is really neat. Um, Traditional sketchbook, great. Okay, wow, these are really nice. I bet they really like that you had some traditional paintings as well.
Yeah, gouache paintings.
Nice. Great mix. Ooh, nice movement. I think that's one thing that I would say is a commonality between some of the successful portfolios is the sketches aren't there might be some static sketches, but there's a lot of sketches that show movement or consider the movement of something. Some people even
Mhm.
will like sort of animate out a whole scene and then we'll see that character like just the planning of it. And I think it's nice for them to see some movement. I think that's really great. Oh,
Yeah, I think you
nice.
mentioned like it's important to have lots of different angles and
Yeah.
movements for the sketches.
Yeah. Oh, great. I'm glad. Good job, Pascal. I'm glad I said that. Oh, I love this one. Yes. Again, just like the world building of it is really nice. Oh, wow, you really cleaned that one up. I remember seeing this when it was a little rougher,
Yeah,
but it's nice to
a
see it a
lot less
little
messy
more.
now.
Yeah. And hey, this is actually a great idea because this is done a lot with like storyboards too, where they'll do one finished board, like one board that look is more of a keyframe painting and gives you a sense of that
Mhm.
scene. It's nice that you've done one object and been like, this is the finished style of what these things could look like. So then you can be like, okay, then I can kind of imagine all of these different sketches brought to their finished level, right? It's like that little concept piece to give us a sense of what the finish will look like. This is
Mhm.
great. Really nice mixture of stuff, Lily, and great mixture of character and world building. And yeah, wow, really great portfolio. Um, okay, so I will just keep scrolling through, but do you have your top three tips for future applicants?
All right, I wrote this down because I'm
Great.
bad at coming up with stuff on the spot. So,
No problem.
tip number one, start early, like
Yeah.
as early as you possibly can. Because one of the major differences from when I was working on portfolio this year compared to when I worked on it like the first time the previous year is
Mhm.
that I was a lot less stressed because I started like what a year early and just like every day, even if it was just a little bit, I would chip off like a little bit of every piece,
Mm.
depending on how much time I had. And that just made me like a lot less stress and gave me a lot more time to fix everything at the
Yeah,
end.
that
So
makes
that I
sense.
was really submitting like my best work instead of just like what I could finish in time kind of
Sure.
thing.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then tip number two is a workflow tip. So, like, if you're kind of stuck on a piece, or like, so like I was working on that interior layout, for example, for a long time, right? And
Mhm.
looking at it for a long time, I'd be like, does this look wrong? Like, does the desk look like it's floating, or is it touching the floor? I couldn't tell because I was staring
Mm.
at it for so long.
Yeah.
So one of my friends was just like, Lily, just move on, go work on another piece, and then
Yeah.
come back to it later. I was like, okay, so that I wouldn't keep like wasting time being stuck on one piece. So if you're
Sure.
stuck, just move on and come back later.
That's a good
And
one.
then tip number three, yeah, is seek for suggestions and critique using as many resources as possible. So like there's the Sheridan Hopefuls
Hmm.
Discord, right? For
Yeah.
people that want to get into Sheridan. As an example, you could join the server and then like there are places to put out your work and be like, hey, does anyone think I could fix anything or like any critique for that?
Yeah.
Or you could even like DM artists or people that you know that are in Sheridan to be like, hey, does this look okay? If they're willing to help out and maybe ask
Hmm.
them questions about like what resources they may use to like learn figure drawing, anatomy, etc. Yeah,
Sure.
just asking critique from as many people as you can from all like different free resources and stuff, like
Right.
making use of what you have access to is really
Hmm.
important because for me, I definitely got critique from lots of people that was like hugely helpful to me. Like I got critique from
Awesome.
you, I got
Yeah.
critique from my friends in Sheridan, from the
Yeah.
Discord servers, from like artists I would DM on Instagram, be like,
Great.
hi, can I ask you a few questions?
How did you
And
find
then
people at
everything.
Sheridan? Like, I'm just curious, what was your method of like finding some people that were actually already in the program?
Right, so remember how I didn't get in last year? Some of my
Mm,
friends did, so I was
okay,
able to meet some Sheridan people through them and
nice.
also like straight up ask them who are already my friends.
Sure.
And then I would also like just stalk people's followings and then find artists in Sheridan that I like, and then I would
Right.
DM them, be like, "Hey, can I ask you a few questions? Because I see
Wow.
that like your work is really cool and stuff."
Yeah, good for you. That's
Yes,
you're really good at finding people to give you feedback. That's awesome.
yeah, just don't be scared to reach out.
Yeah. Your third one. Or is that the third one? I
I
lost
think
count.
that was the third one. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
that was
three.
the third one. Okay, great. Okay, so is there anything that you felt gave you an edge in your portfolio? A little angle?
Uh, I was thinking about this question, and honestly, not really, because I was kind of just looking at other people's portfolios to take inspiration. But
Sure.
I guess the biggest thing I'd say is maybe my personal work section, which I
Sure.
guess can apply to a lot of people because personal works is where you really like show your own interest in style and stuff. And this year,
Absolutely.
I really tunneled in on like the world building and like
Yeah.
structure design stuff because that's what
Hmm.
I'm personally passionate about.
Yeah.
So I guess for future people applying, just really use the personal section to show what you love doing as long as
Yeah.
it's relevant to animation.
Sure. Of course. And I think it definitely is. Like we can all imagine this kind of stuff in a animated film, actually. It's very tangible. So yeah, I definitely agree. I think this stuff, your world building stuff is some of the my favorite world building stuff I would say that I've seen recently. So really, really good. Like all this stuff. It feels like you did some research too. It wasn't just like, I'm gonna draw things from my imagination. And I always really,
Oh
really
yeah.
appreciate that. So I would say like even just the amount that you've researched and you figured out like a nice little layout, like all this stuff goes so far, right? So I think this is a nice part of that as well. Um, you might have already touched on this, but what would you emphasize the most for next year students and parents to take from your success?
Let's see, what did I write down? Okay, other than my top three tips,
Mhm.
I know a lot of people say this, but time management is
Yeah,
very, very important.
yeah, probably the most
Everyone says
important.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone says this, so I'm not going to explain why that's a good idea because I think it's
sure,
pretty self-explanatory.
definitely.
So instead, I'm going to like maybe mention some tips and tricks that I use to keep myself on track and stop
Sure.
myself from procrastinating because I am a heavy procrastinator. So one thing that I used like every single day was just like to-do lists. Like I'd get a
Hmm.
little sticky note and just write down things I wanted to complete that day and then tape it in front of my face. And
Yeah,
then as I'm completing stuff, I would check it off. So like it would give me a sense of completion, like make me happy that I completed one task.
yeah.
And for like the tasks on the to-do list, rather than making them like vague, for example, finish figure drawings, layout, rotation, I would make it more specific. Like, for example, fix the box perspective in your interior layout or
Hmm.
finish the torso for character rotation so that they're
Yeah,
actually like things you can accomplish within that day and check off. And
sure.
then just having that physical list in front of me really motivated me to finish these tasks. Yeah.
That's great.
And then,
Oh yeah, go
mhm.
ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna go on to the next tip. Did you want to mention anything?
I just want to say that that specific goals thing is so critical of like not just being like work on hands. It's like no, like finish first complete sketch of hand pose or do like five hand
Hmm.
sketches. Like you need to be super specific because then it allows you to check that off when you're done. If it's too
Yeah,
broad, there's no
exactly.
sense of like feedback on that list that you give yourself, right? It's not like, okay, now let's see what the next step is. So yeah, that's really good. But yeah, let's hear the next one.
Oh yeah, because it's obviously unrealistic to expect to finish like a whole piece in one day.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and the next tip is just like getting friends to make sure you're on track. Like have them watching you, or not
Yeah.
watching you, like
Mhm.
asking you to make sure you've done your task for the day because
Yeah.
again, I'm a heavy procrastinator. I will do everything I can to procrastinate. So
Hmm.
I just tell my friends like, hey, can you check in on me in like an hour to make sure I've finished this
Wow.
thing, or that
Good
I'm
for
not like
you.
going on social media to procrastinate.
The accountability of that is great. Yeah.
Yeah, you can also ask your family to do that for
Mm.
you, but that got kind of annoying for me. So maybe you want to ask your friends instead.
Sure. Yeah.
And if it got really bad, like if I still would not do my work, I'd get them to like low key threaten me and be like, Lily, I refuse to talk or hang out with you until you finish this
That's
piece.
funny. Threatened social obligation. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so just lots of accountability stuff
Yeah, that's so great. Okay, so
for
the
if
the
you don't
final,
have, yeah.
yeah, sorry.
And then the final tip for that section,
Yeah.
almost done, is just to take breaks and stretch, which is very
Yeah.
important so you don't
Hey, good
burn
one.
yourself
I
out.
never hear
Yeah,
that. Physical stretch, of course. That's great.
yeah, because I think a lot of people, if they didn't draw a lot before portfolio and then suddenly they're drawing a lot, maybe they don't realize that they need to like stretch their hands, otherwise it's going to cramp
Hmm.
up. And
Yeah,
then that's going to just like stunt their progress a lot because if your hands cramped up, obviously you need to take a break. And then taking a
sure.
break, you can't draw. So
Yeah,
taking breaks, stretching, very important.
great. Okay, fantastic. And then the most fun question of them all. With unlimited resources at your disposal and a giant team of artists and animators, what would be your dream future animation project?
That is my future goal. So very random, but I'd love to make a very aesthetic film around the themes of like dreams and shifting between imagination and reality, since I actually get a lot of inspiration from like for my art and pieces from my dreams, because like I have
Hmm.
very vivid dreams, and I think
Hmm.
that is just a very cool theme to explore, and
Yeah,
hopefully the film can like inspire people who've maybe forgotten how it feels to be imaginative to think more freely and be creative again, because I feel like as
wow.
we're growing up, obviously we lose that like
Hmm.
imagination and creative edge because we
Hmm.
just like learn more about the reality of the world, and I think that's kind of
Sure.
sad. So my dream is kind of just to create a very nice film that explores, you know, the line between reality and imagination, and inspire
Great.
people to be creative again. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. That's a great project. I can't wait to see it, which I might one day, considering that you got 97. That's amazing, Lily.
Hopefully that's the dream.
Well, wonderful portfolio. Congrats again. This is an amazing score, and I hope you're feeling so great about it. And thanks so much for doing this interview with us.
Yeah, woohoo. Hopefully my tips were helpful.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they will be. All right. Well, take care, Lily. Congrats again, and have a great time next year at Sheridan.
Yep, was awesome talking to you again. Bye
All right.
bye.
Take care. See ya.